Hey, it's Brent Conley. I want to go over 8 skills that will pay you forever, right? So these are amazing skills that you have to start developing and get excited about. And some of them are kind of tough to get excited about. Number 1, being more patient. Holy cow, how can I get excited about being patient, right? Okay, it's not always good to be in a hurry. And your patience is going to be a superpower. That is going to be so important to you in life and in your business. Like, we want everything now. We want all the business to come to us now. We want all the listings now. We want all the buyers to just buy. Well, that's not how it actually works. That's our mind tricking us in order to, stress us out and make us feel like we're inadequate. So let's reverse the script on that. Let's start thinking that everything's going to take time and what is coming for me will be for me. And that will lower the anxiety if you take action, right? Taking action lowers anxiety. Being patient and knowing that patience is key, and I'm going to master patience. I'm just going to do the activities in order to produce the results, and the results will come. I'm going to lean into all the activities and the results will come. I promise you that. Think about that. And let's go to number 2. Being consistent. Man, that's attached to patience, right? Being consistent is so important, right? So this is an under talked about subject matter. The consistency pays the bills. Consistency always pays the bills, right? And if we use real estate as the example of, like, okay, if we consistently pay our mortgage and we do a little bit extra now and again, we can pay off that mortgage. If you pay an extra payment once a year for 22 years, that house is going to be paid off. Or you have the choice to pay it just for 30 years and it's going to be paid off. You don't refi and all that jazz. Right? The consistency of the payment is going to pay off the debt, right? So in a real estate scenario, the more often you talk to people and you deliver value to them without expecting anything in return, and you do it over and over and over again, like clockwork. And I'll use this example. I'm training real estate agents via YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and my online events and my in-person events. And when I speak on stages, all of that stuff consistently out there for 15 years as I've been in leadership. And I was a terrible leader in the beginning. I was atrocious, right? My driver personality always came out. I didn't have a lot of compassion. I would just go for it over and over again. And now I have had patience. I have consistency. I put empathy in part of my plan, being consistent, delivering value, respecting others, and respecting my time. And those 2 things are so important, especially if you're in a leadership position, especially if you are a real estate agent watching this and you are a leader. You are in a leadership position. You are leading buyers and sellers down the path to a successful closing. And that's all based on trust. And how do you build trust without being patient and without being consistent? It's very, very difficult, right? Otherwise, it's just marketing. Marketing can build it, but nobody's going to see it unless you're consistent with marketing, and they see your ads or your flyers or your postcards or your letters in the mail with comps for 12, 16 times. Then they're going to recognize who you are. The consistency and the patience will always pay off, right? So these are the 8 skills that will pay off forever, okay? All right, number 3. We're going number 3. Stop whining, right? Stop complaining. Man, we always get into some bad mindsets in this business. It's such an emotional business. We have highs, we have lows, and it's just a roller coaster ride like this. And I'll tell you what, if you start catching yourself when you're complaining, when you're whining about things that really don't matter, and you do that and you say, wait a minute here, I have a blessed life. I'm consistent, I am patient, I'm doing the right activities, the results are coming. That's gonna pay you dividends for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. It will pay you massively. Okay, the next thing, managing your time. Okay, managing your time is so important. I want you to, every single person out here, if you don't have a daily schedule, and I know you guys all heard this daily schedule thing, it is incredibly important. So let's write this down. On Sunday evenings, I want you to take 30 minutes. You just had a great day with the family, or you had Sunday fun day, or whatever you're doing. But between the hours of 6 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, I want you to just take 30 minutes. You don't need to watch TV during this time frame. You don't need to have music unless it's classical music, so it'll get your brain thinking. But I want you to write out your schedule for the next week. And what does Monday look like when it hits 9 a.m., right? I need to get to work. I need to be on the phones. I need to be prospecting people. I need to be doing follow-up, whatever your schedule is. And I want you to fill that schedule with 2 to 3 hours of prospecting in the morning, talking to a minimum of 5 people. And if you're an experienced real estate agent that is not afraid of talking to people, I want you talking to 30 to 50 people a day, okay, in order to make a lot of money, right? We are serving people. The more people that we can talk to each day, the better the odds that we can serve them properly. I want you to think about that. So managing your time is so important. Your daily schedule is incredibly important. Okay, I can't stress that enough. All right, know the real you. Man, this is so important. The real you is incredibly important because you're going to be with you all your life. The rest of the world matters, but you matter more. And that's taking care of your health. That is making sure you're exercising. That's making sure your nutrition's on point. That's making sure that your relationships that matter to you are on point. That all of that stuff is connected. You cannot perform as the best you in the real estate business without taking care of you. If you don't take time off because you're working 7 days a week and you've worked 7 days a week for 6 months, which I have done that in the past. I think I worked a whole year and I didn't take a day off. And if that's the case, you're actually losing money by doing that because your brain is so focused on something personal is being missed. And it's probably relationships, it's probably hygiene or your health, your personal health. And so I think you need to make yourself a priority and make sure that you are in a good place and then just go conquer the world, right? So at least take 1 day off a week. I would suggest that. All right, the next thing I wrote down, I want you to become a better listener. When you become a better listener, you become a better business person. When you become a better listener, you become a better real estate agent. You become a better listing agent. You become a better buyer's agent. You become a better commercial agent. Ask questions and listen. Ask questions and listen. Sometimes you just need to ask them how their day is going. You can read them. If they're smiling, they're having a great day. Hey, it looks like your day's going pretty well. Tell me about it. Or if it's the other side, man, it looks like you had a kind of a rough day. Tell me about it. That right there, I don't care if you're on a listing presentation. I don't care if you're meeting a buyer for the first time. You're meeting somebody at Starbucks, whatever the case may be. By you listening, asking that question and listening is going to put you so far ahead in a relationship standpoint. At the beginning of the relationship, in the middle of the relationship, at the end of the relationship, you'll always be remembered because you're the person that listened. Okay? Think about that. Implement that so you can get better. You will be so more successful with these 8 skills when you master them. Just put them into practice a little at a time. All right, the next thing I want you to start doing is having more confidence. Having more confidence that you know you're the best real estate agent for the job of helping them find a home or selling the home because you care, because you've centered yourself, you've taken care of yourself, you're excited and you're enthusiastic about helping people, you're excited about solving someone's problem, you're focused on serving. This is going to build your business. Implement some of that. And when you come from here and you're full centered and you have the confidence, you're going to serve people at the highest level. It's going to be extremely important for the rest of your life to build your confidence. All right, so Brent, well, how do I build my confidence? Number one, I want you to write a list down, and I'm going to take 5 minutes and start thinking about this. How many people have I helped in the course of my life, or in the course of my career, or in my family, or a stranger on the street? I want you to start writing that list down, because this is the list of who you are, of how many people you've helped in a whole bunch of different scenarios. And almost every human on the planet has helped somebody in some way every single month, I'm going to say. Could be every day. But every single month you've done something for somebody else. Maybe you inspired them. Maybe you smiled at somebody and you improved somebody's day. Maybe you tipped somebody $100. It was a $10 bill at Starbucks and you tipped them $100. Maybe somebody on the street, you gave them a $50 bill. That improved all those people's day. That's who you are. That's going to build confidence that you're a people person. You're willing to help others in need. You're willing to help the sellers and the buyers. Now, the next thing off of that is having the confidence in the real estate job, knowing the market. So studying the market every single day. As a professional, I study homes and the market every single day. This is what I do. Typically, I don't do it in the morning. I'm going to do it in the afternoon because we're going to protect our time in the morning, right? So think about that, right? So if you're going to go look at vacant houses, you know how much they have priced. They've set the list price, and you know what condition they are in and how that is coordinating with the days on market, with how many offers, with if it's not pending or if it is pending. And when it sells, you're going to have the knowledge base that every real estate agent should have in their marketplace, in their farm. So think about that. That's going to build confidence. It's going to shoot confidence right up because you know the market. And if you're going on listing presentations, the sellers are going to the open houses. So let me ask you this. If you're a real estate agent and you're not going to the open houses, why not? The sellers are. So if you go on a listing presentation and that seller's been in 5 or 7 or 10 houses in the last 2 months in your farm area and you never went into one of them, you are at a huge disadvantage, massive disadvantage. Because as a real estate professional, if I went to 5 or 4 or all 7 of those open houses or all those properties on the marketplace, I scheduled appointments or I showed them with buyers or whatever the case may be. The fact is I was in all of those houses and the seller was in all of those houses. Then you can have an intelligent, focused conversation about comparing those houses to their house, and you're going to be the natural hire for listing their home. Think about that. That's also, back to our topic, is going to skyrocket your confidence on that listing presentation. All right, third thing on confidence. I want you to think about and write down, and writing this stuff down is so important, so don't miss that step. All of the times that you have solved problems and won in life, whether it's in real estate, whether it's just in life. I don't know who's watching this, so it could be a brand new real estate agent, or it can be an experienced real estate agent. And if you won in life, let's use a brand new real estate agent, and you have succeeded in almost everything you've done in sports, you've succeeded in raising, kids, or maybe your parents were out of the picture and you had to raise a little brother or sister or something. Those are huge wins. Those are responsibility wins. I want you to write those down. I want you to write down all the times that you won, whether it was in a park setting, with your friends, and you won, the biggest hit in softball or something, or you won that soccer tournament. You accomplished something great that you didn't necessarily know you could accomplish. I want you to think about those moments, write them down. And every time you lack confidence in life or in your business, I want you to go back to those moments, reread them, remind yourself about them. And if they're in real estate, even better. Because now that's going to get you more excited. It's going to build your confidence that you can, and you're going to win. And that's what it takes. It takes a winner's mindset. All right. Hopefully that'll help you guys. All right. The next thing, I always suggest this. Speaking up. Speaking up no matter what. And this is something that isn't taught that often. And speaking up on a bad list price, an overpriced listing. And there's a lot of agents out there that just take overpriced listings. They don't tell the truth to the sellers. So I encourage you to speak up and talk to the sellers about what's reality on pricing. Otherwise, you guys are going to take overpriced listings and you'll be frustrated. Your sellers are going to be frustrated for 60, 90, 120 days, maybe 6 months, because of lack of communication. And that is the responsibility of a real estate agent on the listing side. Maybe they do need to fix up the property. Maybe they do need to pick up the dog poop. We just closed a property, a $1.6 million property in California. And the listing agent, he had a tough time, and I'll give him some credit for dealing with the divorce situation and all that stuff. But we closed escrow, and there was dog poop all over the backyard. It was complete nonsense. And so we sent somebody over to clean up the dog poop before our clients did. They did the final walkthrough, and it was mentioned. It just didn't get done before we closed escrow the next morning. And we sent them over, and it ended up filling an entire trash can, like a big trash can. And it's probably, it was bigger than a 55-gallon drum. So it was probably, I don't know, maybe a 75 gallons or something of dog poop, all in bags and stuff. They had dog poop thrown in bushes and covered up with mulch and stuff. It was complete nonsense. And how embarrassing, number one. And we represented the buyer on this, and there was no way we were ever going to allow our buyers to pay for that. Even though they were okay with it, they were going to do it. But there's no way, as a professional real estate agent on my team, we're going to allow that buyer to handle that. One, it's gross. Two, what kind of impression would that make? And so think about that. And so, of course, I'm going to speak up and tell that listing agent that was complete nonsense, and that's embarrassing for him. Now, I'll always remember that guy's name. I'm not going to say it here because of that. He didn't speak up and tell his clients that is just completely absurd. Now, we've talked about, being truthful to your buyers and to your sellers on price, condition, and making sure you're speaking up about fixing things that should be fixed, aka dog poop. And it's reputation, right? Our reputation as humans, as real estate agents, is the absolute most important thing in this business. Integrity goes with reputation. Character goes with reputation. Okay, in case anybody wants to talk a little bit more on that. I've got some strong feelings with that too. Because if you are a real estate agent that is out there that has a poor reputation, and you're like, screw it, who cares? You're not going to be in business forever. Those things will bite you and your clients in the butt. And so if you're a client out there, always hire somebody with a great reputation from peer to peer. They can be tough. Real estate agents can be tough, but they can still treat people fairly and have integrity when they do it and uphold their character. So think about that, real estate agents out there. Thank you for watching this. I hope I've delivered an extraordinary amount of value. These are all my opinions, and this has allowed me to sell thousands and thousands of homes and be in business for the last 23 years and counting. This is Brent Conley. Thank you.